Good afternoon, and thank you for joining us on Across the Fence. I'm Jolie Whitney. It's the first Thursday of the month, which around here means recipes. One of the best things about recipes is sharing, and that doesn't work as easily on TV, but today we're going to give it a try. Marco gets lots of emails asking him about recipes he shares every month, and viewers also write in to share what they've cooked up. So when Marco suggested an idea of a viewer-submitted request show, we said, let him cook. Here's Marco.
Thank you, Jolie. Hi, I'm Marco Ayala, and I'm here to share another recipe with all of you. And I have to say that I really enjoy hearing from you. We've been getting some emails with questions, with suggestions. I really enjoy also reading all the comments and some of the questions that you have on our Facebook page. So this is a reminder to connect with us here at Across the Fence through our social media that you can see on your screen right now. And for today's show, I wanted to make something that kind of like relates a little bit to some of the emails that we've been getting. And something that I love are what I call fan favorites, which is recipes that are true and tried, that have been here on Across the Fence in the past, and that we look through our archives to resurrect them and bring them back and give them new life, maybe make a couple modifications. Having said that, we're going to start with a suggestion from our friend Harry Mashter, who's asking how to store nuts correctly to keep their freshness. In order to talk about nuts, well, how about we make a recipe that involves nuts? So that's how I decided to make this cranberry Waldorf salad that was presented here in Across the Fence in 2006 by our friend Carolyn Peak. And let me tell you, it was so good to make this recipe again because it's very simple, it's very easy to put together, and if someone knew recipes that were really good and were easy to make, was definitely Carolyn Peak. So let me tell you how to make it. First, you're gonna take one medium apple and you're gonna chop it. Then you're gonna take 1 or 2 celery ribs and you're gonna chop them as well. Combine them in a bowl. Then you're gonna add about 2 teaspoons fresh lemon juice. And you're gonna make sure that the apple is well coated with the lemon juice. The reason why we want the apple to be well coated is because this is going to prevent browning. And that is because the acid in the lemon stops the oxidizing process in the apple, which is that brown color. So if you want to keep fruits from oxidizing, add some lemon juice. Then to your bowl, you're gonna add half a cup cranberries and half a cup walnuts, about 1 tablespoon sugar. Then you're gonna add 1/3 cup mayo and you're gonna mix it well. And that easily you have a salad that is delicious and that the whole family is going to enjoy. It also makes a portion that is not huge, which is great for small families like mine, so you don't have like a lot of leftovers. Not that you will have leftovers with this recipe, because it's absolutely delicious. If there is something that our friend Carolyn Peak knew how to make, was a delicious recipe with low effort. And I absolutely love that. So now to respond to Harry's inquiry, well, the best way to store nuts is to put them in an airtight container and then store them in a cool, dark place, preferably your fridge or freezer. And this is going to ensure that your walnuts, your pecans, any nut remains fresh and it doesn't become rancid, which really messes up with the taste in your recipes. Now that we have the first course already, let's move on to our main course. And I want to take the recommendation from our good friend Deb Maxwell, who also wrote and said that her secret to apple pie, or the perfect apple pie, is to drizzle it with maple syrup, because you can put maple syrup on anything. And you're right. As all of you know, I love cooking with maple. and I cook with maple often in my recipes for my everyday cooking. So I wanted to make something that really was different, but also that is a fan favorite. And that's how I decided to make these pear and maple pork chops. These are delicious. This is a recipe that we presented originally here in Across the Fence in 2005. Legendary cook and former producer of Across the Fence, Lynn Jarvis, presented this recipe. And I decided to make a few modifications and play a little bit with the proportions to take these pork chops from delicious to absolutely otherworldly. So let me tell you how to put this together. First, you're gonna take 3 medium pears and you're gonna peel them, core them, and slice them. And then you're gonna finally chop about 1/4 cup onion. Add the pears and onions to a bowl, and then you're gonna drizzle them with 1/2 cup Vermont maple syrup, 2 tablespoons melted butter, 1/4 teaspoon ginger, and 1 clove minced garlic. Mix it well and set it aside. Then you're gonna take 4 pork chops and you're gonna season them with salt and pepper to taste. What's better, to use boneless pork chops or pork chops that still have the bone in? Pork chops that still have the bone in tend to be less expensive. So you can feed your family for less. And as I said, it doesn't really make that much of a difference in terms of taste. So it's really your preference. But in my case, I personally like my pork chops with the bone in there. Then you're gonna spray a large saucepan with olive oil and you're gonna set it over medium to high heat. Add your pork chops and let them saute for 2 to 3 minutes on each side until they're nicely browned. Then you're gonna pour the pear mixture over the pork chops, reduce the heat to medium-low, and cover your pan. Let it cook for about 12 to 15 minutes until the chops are no longer pink and the pears have softened. And look at that. All the juices and the maple syrup have thickened and it made a wonderful sauce. And you're gonna be really surprised about how easy and how fast it is to make this recipe, because it really takes very little effort. All there is really cutting all your ingredients, but the secret really is in having the right ingredients at home. I think that maple really does a great job with this. So I hope you really give it a try. Let me know if you like it. Let me know what substitutions would you make. Now, let's move on to my last recipe. And this is a recipe that we presented here on Across the Fence in 2012. And it is a recipe by Edie Ackerman from Fairleigh, Vermont, peach upside down cake. It is absolutely beautiful. I think that this dessert is a stunner. For a recipe that looks this good, you're gonna be surprised how easy it was to make. So let me tell you how to put it together. First, you're gonna spray a 9-inch round baking pan with cooking spray. You're gonna sprinkle it with 1/2 cup brown sugar, and then you're gonna take 1 large can peach slices. And you're gonna arrange all the slices in a concentrical pattern. Then you're gonna sprinkle the peaches with 1/4 cup white chocolate chips. And then finally, you're gonna pour 1/3 cup melted butter over the peaches to make sure that there is enough moisture there so it's easy to unmold. The other thing that I wanted to tell you is that you can make this with fresh peaches. The one difference is that you're going to obviously take the pit out, and I will recommend slicing it so you can make a design, because presentation is really important. However, if you're pressed for time, you can always just slice them or slice them in half and put them right on top and then add your cake mix. And now let me tell you how to make this cake mix so this cake comes out delicious. To a mixing bowl, you're gonna add 2 eggs and you're gonna beat them until they start getting thick and lemon colored. Gradually, you're going to add 2/3 cup sugar, half a teaspoon almond extract,
1/3 cup syrup from the peaches,
and once that is well combined, you're going to add 1 cup flour and 1 teaspoon baking powder. Finally, you're going to add 1/4 teaspoon salt, and then you're going to pour it over the peaches. Bake your cake at 350 degrees for 50 to 60 minutes until a toothpick inserted near the center comes out clean. And it was that easy. And then you're gonna wait about 10 minutes. You're going to unmold it into your favorite dish. And look at that. No wonder this was a favorite recipe because it's so easy to make and it's delicious. And let's also bring in all these other favorite recipes because I think they're gonna become your new favorites. And again, thank you so much for interacting with Across the Fence. Remember, you can follow us on social media by liking us on Facebook, following us on X, or subscribing to the YouTube channel for Across the Fence, where you can get all the notifications on your phone or your computer. Also remember that you can send us an email, you can send us a message. There's all this Across the Fence fans, such as Beth Kane, who's always commenting, and she doesn't seem to miss an episode, which we absolutely love. And also remember that all these recipes are available to download from the Across the Fence website that you can see on your screen right now, along with many other recipes that are in our archives. And if you enjoy this episode where I'm bringing back some recipes from the past, let me know, because we can always bring some other recipes from the past as well, and because they may become your new favorites. And as I always say, from my kitchen to your kitchen, enjoy your cooking and cook well. And Jolie, I hope you try this recipe because I think it's also going to become your new favorite. Back to you to the studio.
Thank you, Marco, and thanks to our crew behind the scenes here at WCAX who are never too salty or too sweet. I'm Jolie Whitney. This is Across the Fence. Have a good one.